Center. And what a night this could be for the Undisputed Era's Kyle O'Reilly. Waiting his entire life for the opportunity he gets tonight. O'Reilly looking to take the title from newly minted champion Finn Balor, who outlasted Adam Cole in that Iron Man tiebreaker a few weeks ago. Oh, my friends, the clock is now just under 30 minutes until NXT TakeOver 31, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to get you ready for all the action right here on the NXT TakeOver 31 pre-show. My name is Scott Stanford. This handsome fella to my left is the better-looking half of the Jim and Sam Show on Sirius XM Radio. He is Sam Roberts. And Sam, listen, tonight we're going to see NXT TakeOver 31 taking place inside the all-new state-of-the-art Capitol Wrestling Center.
I can't wait to see it. Of course, named for the Capitol Wrestling Corporation, the predecessor to the WWE, but that's what NXT does so well. They honor the history while bringing wrestling forward.
Yeah, what a tremendous card, top to bottom, my friends. All you need to do to be part of this insane action tonight is head over to WWE.com, subscribe to the WWE Network. I promise you do not want to miss out on NXT TakeOver 31 headed your way. Top of the hour. Let's take a look at what's coming up at 7 o'clock. The NXT Championship going to be on the line tonight when Finn Balor defends the title against the Undisputed Era's Kyle O'Reilly. HBK says Balor's never been better, and O'Reilly could be the best. We're going to find out who walks out with the NXT title tonight at TakeOver 31. Candice LeRae came out on top in a #1 contenders battle royal. Now LeRae gets her Wrestling Center and our colleague Mackenzie Mitchell.
Thanks, guys. I'm here at the brand new, incredible Capitol Wrestling Center, and I absolutely cannot wait for you guys to see it. But earlier today on a Facebook Live interview, I had the opportunity to speak to Triple H. He said there will be a landmark shift in the brand of NXT. But a couple notes on TakeOver. I also saw Damian Priest arriving, and he said that he was not happy with the way that NXT ended on Wednesday with the Knicks tag match. He was on his way to see Mr. Regal, and I assume he got what he wanted because I can now confirm that Johnny Gargano and Damian Priest will kick off tonight's NXT TakeOver 31. Speaking of the Garganos, I also saw them. They were all smiles, very confident and happy. They think the Gargano way will work tonight, and they will walk out with championship gold. But now let's take a special look at the NXT Women's Championship match.
All these competitors are set for a battle royal to determine who challenges Io Shirai for the NXT Women's title at TakeOver. It's down to Blackheart and LeRae. Oh, wait a minute! Blackheart's been eliminated. Candice LeRae is going to TakeOver.
Take a trip back to April. #1 contendership ladder match. And what did Io do? As I was reaching up so close to winning, she clawed my eyes.
Io Shirai's the #1 contender.
But Io, you actually did me a favor. Because you opened my eyes. It was then and there that I saw I was doing things all wrong. For so long, I was the big sister to every single woman in that locker room. My sister! Did I get a thanks? No. Instead, I got taken out again and again and again. You know who I could count on? My husband. We just need to look after each other. Because who can we really depend on? We start doing things my way now. The Gargano way. The Gargano way has given me confidence in myself, my abilities. It's helped me realize that I don't need anybody. I have everything I need. And going into TakeOver, I have nothing to lose and everything to gain. That title will be mine.
I am no stranger to stepping in the ring with Capitol.
Io Shirai puts Candice LeRae to sleep.
Now I'm facing a new canvas. I would not lose to someone who takes shortcuts.
I take shortcuts. You did the same thing, didn't you?
since becoming the NXT Women's Champion, I beat the best in NXT. Candice is good, but the Gargano way is not enough to beat Io Shirai.
All right, well, earlier today, during a live interview with Triple H on Facebook ahead of tonight's TakeOver 31, former NXT Women's Champ Rhea Ripley gave us her thoughts, if you will, on tonight's NXT Women's title matchup between the champ Io Shirai and Candice LeRae.
I still owe Io from in your house, you know? She got one up on me, and she's now NXT Women's Champion, and that's what I want. I want my championship back. So if she gets through tonight, Io knows that I'm going to be rooting for her.
Well, I would say this. If Candice wins tonight, Candice knows you're going to be waiting for her.
Yeah.
I have to be a betting man and lay money down on. I look across the board of everybody in this industry 3 years from now, 5 years from now. What is the layout at the top? Number one.
Wow. I appreciate that. I really do, because I'm hoping to be that person. And let's just say it like this. If Io wins tonight, I want Io Shirai. If Candice wins tonight, well, it's going to be the shortest NXT Women's Championship reign in NXT history, because I want whoever walks out champion.
Boy, who could blame her? But Rhea Ripley, she's just chomping at the bit to get back into that title picture.
Yeah, she is. I think everybody in the NXT Women's division is chomping to get into that picture. If Rhea Ripley wanted the title match tonight, she could have won the Battle Royal. She could have gotten there the same way Candice LeRae got there.
Yeah. Listen, Sam, Io Shirai and Candice LeRae really just blew the roof off of NXT TakeOver in Toronto, right? There was no title on the line there, and Shirai won the match by submission. But how much different is Candice LeRae coming into tonight than she has been what Io Shirai has been used to seeing?
She's a completely different person. It's not like it's just the hair color that's changed with Candice LeRae. It's the outlook on everything. It's the new Gargano mentality. It's the whole family coming together and not accepting their position in NXT of just being the workhorses, being the mentors. It's time for a spotlight to be shined on the Garganos, and they're going out there and they're grabbing that spotlight. That's the hunger that Io Shirai didn't have to deal with the last time she took on Candice LeRae.
So are you saying Candice leaves tonight with that title? Who do you like?
I am absolutely saying that. I think Io's changed too. I think Io has lost edge.
Wow.
I think Io had a ton of edge going in, but I think that Triple H sending the compliments her way, I think being successful as women's champion has made Io Shirai comfortable.
Wow. Well, listen, Johnny Gargano and Candice LeRae looking to make history tonight with a husband and wife, both taking home championship gold. And, you know, with all that's going on to prepare for tonight's action, the Garganos were nice enough to hit Twitter and answer questions from the WWE Universe. But, Sam, to me, seems a little cocky that they're not preparing for what's ahead of them tonight, a little more important.
Well, we don't know if they're not preparing. You know, they could have been preparing and then also answering some questions. That's the talent that Johnny Gargano may possess. He might be a multitasker.
Yeah.
He can tweet and mentally prepare for somebody like Damian Priest.
And Gargano looking to take home his second North American championship. Damian Priest holding on to the title. And listen, we know Gargano has the experience. He's been one of the foundations of NXT. But just looking at this matchup from a physical nature, how does he overcome Priest in this match tonight?
Look, that's been the story of Gargano's career. There have always been people that he's had to overcome, and more often than not, he overcomes them. Look, tonight we need to find out if that new attitude that Johnny Gargano has is really worth its weight in gold. And by gold, I'm talking about the North American Championship.
Yeah.
This is a moment for Johnny Gargano to prove that everything that he says about himself is true. But it's also Damian Priest's opportunity to prove that he really is the future and not just some guy who jumps into hot tubs with his pants still on. Who hasn't?
Guys, so much more to do as we continue to break down tonight's NXT TakeOver 31, which comes your way very soon, top of the hour. So many championships at stake. We're going to bring in Matt Camp and Ryan Patola from the bump to get their prognostications. And music icon Corey Taylor gives his prediction on who walks out with the NXT title. We're coming right back. this could be for Isaiah Swerve Scott. Swerve heading into the Capitol Wrestling Center this afternoon as he prepares for the biggest match of his career. As Swerve looking to take the Cruiserweight title from Santos Escobar. Escobar's built the entire Cruiserweight division in his own image. Will that image be drastically altered tonight?
Cruiserweight division was in desperate need for a leader. Santos Escobar took the NXT Cruiserweight title from Sancho to the bench. Sometimes you have to tear things down in order to build them back up. No.
Santos Escobar, in case you forgot, I'm the only one that's beaten him in the WWE. That's 2 pinfall victories over the year. I'm not content. And the reason why is Santos Escobar is still walking around with an NXT Cruiserweight Championship just once more. Next time you step in the ring with me, you'll be looking at me, Cruiserweight Champion.
Don't make it. Swerve, you're a parasite that I can't get rid of.
Every time that NXT Cruiserweight title is on the line, there's always something going on. Whether it's Legado Fantasma interfering, or you have a manipulated lucha match.
All I'm hearing is excusas. The problem is, when it really counts, you can't deliver.
What you call excuses, you call reality. I'm here to showcase the world what I'm truly capable of. And while I'm doing that, I'm going to showcase the world how our NXT Cruiserweight Champion, Santos Escobar, is a fraud.
TakeOver, all of your showcasing won't be enough. Because what you call a bag of tricks is a century tradition. And I'm gonna bury it.
This is the Credit One Bank One to watch. Visit GoCreditOne.com if you'd like to get rewarded.
And ladies and gentlemen, this week's Credit One Bank One to watch is the Santos Escobar defending the Cruiserweight title against Isaiah Swerve Scott. And Sam, listen, Swerve's the only superstar to beat Santos Escobar since Escobar's arrival at NXT. How much do you think that weighs on the champ's head heading into tonight?
Well, this is a different Santos Escobar for sure. I don't even think he's thinking on that level. To watch the transformation that guy has gone through since that incident happened, it's remarkable. But I think this one could potentially steal the show. This is the first time that the Cruiserweight Championship has been defended on a takeover. Santos says that he's, like you said, that he's taking the Cruiserweight division, he's rebuilding it in his name. Well, guess what? He's now brought that title to a takeover for the first time. On the other side of the ring, you got Swerve Scott. I'm a fan of Swerve. If I'm building a wrestling company today, he's going to be one of my #1 draft picks. I just want to be able to look into his eyes and know that he believes that. And I don't know that he does.
That Cruiserweight title certainly the one to watch tonight.
This has been the Credit One Bank One.
WWE NXT TakeOver 31 live reactions, play-by-play. I'm your host, Encyclopedia Sports, Cool Hand Luke 96. Thank you for tuning in and watching. As always, be sure to like, follow, and subscribe on social media. Links in the description below. The thumbs up button, share on social media, hashtag WWE NXT, hashtag NXT TakeOver. Chat questions and comments, super chats, super stickers, always greatly appreciated as well. Tonight, for the first time ever, NXT will culminate from the new Capitol Wrestling Center, a renovated WWE Performance Center, still in Orlando, Florida. However, no more Full Sail Live at Full Sail University for NXT moving forward. Beginning tonight with NXT TakeOver 31. They, as the main roster, is still in Orlando at the Amway Center, WWE's, in quotes, Thunderdome. NXT now at the PC, in which we saw Raw and SmackDown for a few months during the pandemic before the new Thunderdome began SummerSlam weekend. So tonight, a pretty decent card. with a few championship matches. I believe Kushida Velveteen Dream singles competition will be the match of the night, though. That'll steal the show. Should be a good night, especially with this new edgier, raw feel to NXT, a darker side, as Triple H, and I quote, has stated, and along with allowing fans in tonight for the first time in quite a while, friends and family will also be allowed in. All will have to wear masks, and all people that are inside the WWE, formerly known as the Performance Center, the new Capital Wrestling Center. It's edgier, darker, and it has a raw feel to it, as Triple H stated, but it's a heavy metal soundstage that the WWE has now got their hands on, as they just reinvented NXT moving towards the future. So should be very, very interesting to see what does in fact happen tonight, how it looks. I did see a few images a short time ago. No more plexiglass, which is a good thing. They did bring out before they turned into the ref. Before, of course, we all know it happened about 2 decades ago now, turning into the WWE World Wrestling Entertainment as we know it today. So, Capital Wrestling Center in Orlando, no more Full Sail Live, no more Full Sail University, no more WWE Performance Center either. It's now known, if you did not know, this is breaking news earlier today, the Capital Wrestling Center, as basically WWE's taking over, as they had done in years past, of course. And now we have NXT TakeOver 31 coming off SummerSlam weekend as well, where we saw Karrion Kross become NXT champion, however, having to relinquish that title due to an injury. Finn Balor will face off versus Kyle O'Reilly of the Undisputed Era tonight for the NXT Championship. However, who is the mystery person going to be tonight at NXT TakeOver? Past 2 weeks on NXT, on Wednesday nights on the USA Network, we've seen some vignettes with the green and black colors of a potential former NXT champion. Only time will tell. I have a few ideas, and we'll get more on NXT TakeOver 31, so stay tuned. Also tonight, as they mentioned at the top of the NXT TakeOver kickoff pre-show for NXT TakeOver 31 this evening, Damian Priest and Johnny Gargano will in fact kick off the show for the NXT North American Championship. For the NXT Women's Championship, as mentioned, the match of the night, in my opinion, that I believe will absolutely steal the show, will in fact be Kushida and Velveteen Dream, a potential #1 contendership match for the NXT Championship moving forward. And then Santos Escobar will also defend his Cruiserweight Championship against Isaiah Swerve Scott. Rhea Ripley's supposed to be on the kickoff pre-show. We did just see moments ago her backstage altercation with Triple H that was on, I believe, one of these social media platforms earlier this afternoon, if I'm not mistaken. But first Sunday in October, the first NXT TakeOver event since NXT TakeOver 30. They just go with the simple NXT TakeOver 31 name. And after tonight, we'll then move forward to Survivor Series weekend. Now, only time will tell if we'll get back to the normal that we're used to seeing, with fans actually live in attendance, traveling, touring on the road or not. As there's been some rumors floating around as of late that potentially after the end of the month, WWE Thunderdome, along with this new Capital Wrestling Center for the WWE and NXT, at least for now, could be coming to an end after about a 2-month run. But with this pandemic still going on, who honestly knows what the hell is going to happen day in and day out, as we see some highlights now from Finn Balor's first NXT Championship reign back in the 2014, 2015, 2016 era with Kevin Owens, Shinsuke Nakamura, and Samoa Joe, who honestly very well could be potential candidates for this mystery person tonight at NXT TakeOver 31. But in my honest opinion, I believe it's going to be somebody coming into the company, debuting, somebody we've never seen, or maybe even once or twice before, but then didn't sign a few years back, and making a name for themselves in the WWE for the first time ever. But also, it could very well be a man or a woman, we don't know, because they only ran 2 vignettes the past 2 weeks, and they honestly really weren't that different from one another. As mentioned, there was some greenish and blackish color. If you go back, Ember Moon, she's had those colors in her entrance before. She's a candidate. If it is a woman, I believe it's either going to be her, or if in fact they did sign Tessa Blanchard to a contract tonight, I think that would make sense for her to even walks out of that match victorious. But we saw, it seemed like it was outside of the PC, the new Capitol Wrestling Center, that I'm sure they'll be saying all the next few hours or so, and moving forward on NXT, just to get it over, as the PC, the Performance Center, is no more. It's just renovated and has a new name. It's not like it was completely torn down and they're moving shop. They are just reinventing themselves, as mentioned, and moving NXT into the future. And I mean, if not now, when? Especially when you have a takeover event tonight. I know people were hoping for a potential Halloween Havoc NXT takeover at the end of the month, but it doesn't look like we'll be getting that. I'm sure they'll do something on Raw or SmackDown through the week, or even NXT for that matter, with a Halloween match of some sorts, like they always do. But we saw one of the vignettes, the first one I do believe it seemed like it was outside of the PC in Orlando, and as Adam Cole now was talking with, this was on Facebook Live earlier today, Adam Cole backstage with the King of Kings, the Game, Triple H, and it very well could be Hunter as well. I mean, he has green in his entrance, DX, the Cerebral Assassin himself, but nonetheless, they had whoever it is break into like a trophy case and grab the NXT Championship. A lot of people are speculating it could very well be Bo Dallas, as well as the B Team's No More. Curtis Axel was released a few months back. Bo has actually been injured since the end of last year. Could they have him return to NXT? He's one of the first ever NXT champions back in 2014 as well. People speculating Neville Pac. He's currently signed, as far as we know, at least he is, still to All Elite Wrestling, AEW, but we have not seen him either since before the pandemic began. He was actually on the last AEW show live, I believe it was in Salt Lake City, back in March, the day before everything hit the fan. And we've been living in this new abnormal life ever since. So Bo Dallas, Pac, Neville, a few options, along with Ember Moon and Tessa Blanchard, as mentioned. If in fact they did sign her, maybe even Triple H. I mean, who knows? But then the second one, they had the person drive by on a motorcycle past the Amway Center. So is that a clue that potentially somebody from up on Raw or SmackDown is coming back down, because the Amway Center has been home to the Thunderdome the past few months? We have the WWE Draft beginning this upcoming Friday on SmackDown. I'll have live reactions play of that as well, so be sure to tune in. We'll get into all the live streams that will in fact be on the channel throughout the night. And with everything that's been going on, we were scheduled to have Steelers-Titans earlier today in the NFL. However, that game was postponed. And then we're supposed to have another live stream earlier. And as mentioned, I'll just get more into it a little bit later on once NXT does, in fact, begin. Everything's been all haywire all over the place. But we are still, of course, live streaming now NXT TakeOver 31. If it is potentially somebody coming down from the main roster, whether it be Raw or SmackDown, I'm not going to be shocked one bit if it is in fact Daniel Bryan or AJ Styles. We have not seen DB since over the summer, and then AJ dropped the Intercontinental title, lost his 2 rematches over the past week or so, and unless they have him go to Monday Night Raw, say next week during the draft, there's not really a whole lot right now that I can think of, at least storyline-wise, for him to do. So maybe it is AJ. And then if we get Finn Balor retaining tonight against Kyle O'Reilly in the NXT Championship match, we could have AJ Styles return to NXT. He's been there with the club a time or two in the past, but then we get an NXT Championship feud moving forward with 2 former leaders of the Bullet Club, to Sweet Me, with Finn Balor and AJ Styles for the NXT Championship. And honestly, if it is Daniel Bryan to AJ Styles, maybe it's a couple, maybe it's a tag team. Everybody's speculating it's just going to be a single competitor. We'll have to find out and see. But if in fact it is somebody coming in that is not a woman, who knows? Beer me, could be James Storm. He was formerly in TNA Impact, of course, part of Beer Money with Bobby Roode, who people were also speculating this mystery person to be, but then he returned this past Monday night on Raw in the main event in the WWE Championship match against the Chosen One, your Scottish Psychopath WWE Champion, Drew McIntyre. So it's not going to be Bobby Roode, but it could be James Storm. About 5 years ago now, he did enter NXT for about 2 weeks, and then went back to TNA. Beer Money reformed. Bobby Roode then left the company, came to WWE, NXT champion, of course, up on the main roster as of late. And only time's going to tell. NXT TakeOver 31 about to begin next on the WWE Network. So thank you once again for tuning in and watching. As mentioned, it'll be Damian Priest, Johnny Wrestling, Johnny Gargano, kicking us off tonight for the NXT North America. We'll now have live reactions, play-by-play of that as well, with the 2 Monday Night Football games tomorrow night too, with Patriots Chiefs being postponed from today until tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, about 24 hours away now or so. And then also Falcons Packers, still Monday night, live from Lambeau Field in Green Bay. However, the start time has been pushed back to around 9 p.m. Eastern Time. However, right now, tonight, October the 4th, 2020, 1 year after the SmackDown on Fox debut, we have WWE NXT TakeOver 31 in Orlando from the new WWE Capitol Wrestling Center, Capitol Wrestling Corporation. That's, as mentioned, what WWE was formerly known as. Vince's grandfather and Vince's father ran it before it turned into what we now have today with the WWF, the WWF, and now the WWE. As mentioned, as now we have a opening video package highlighting the history of the Capitol Wrestling Corporation. You're looking at some of the most remarkable athletes in the world today. Professional wrestlers, are a rare breed of athlete, possessing, and of course they just did away with that. I didn't get to read all that, but it was professional wrestling signed Vincent McMahon, Vince's father, and now NXT in the Capitol Wrestling Center. And now more lighting, more, a darker feel, as mentioned. This is the same video they ran earlier, of course. We see those fences, the cage, barricade, big NXT entrance stage. Fans allowed tonight in pods, as mentioned, wearing masks, of course. Hopefully everyone's staying safe. We are NXT. NXT, NXT. So a new feel, new look for NXT moving forward, beginning right now with TakeOver 31. But with James Storm, if it is in fact him, as there are actually fans there, and then they have the Thunderdome video board as well, as it seems like you can join virtually for NXT events now moving forward. We'll have Vic Joseph and Wade Barrett on commentary. Hashtag NXT TakeOver when you share on social media. Chat questions and comments, super chats, super stickers, always greatly appreciated as well. Live forever. Here comes Punishment Martinez, Damian Priest, about to defend his NXT North American Championship against Johnny Wrestling, Johnny Gargano. The new Gargano way, we could see a married couple walk out as a double champion tonight if Gargano and Candice LeRae can become your new NXT North American and NXT Women's Champions this evening in NXT TakeOver 31. Bell rings, falling contest covered for one fall. It seems about, there's like, I'd say around 100 people in there at most, maybe. Good to see fans back actually live in living color, live in attendance for a wrestling event. AEW's brought some fans back as of late as well over the past month and a half or so, 2 months now, I'd say. But nonetheless, WWE with the production level scale it up to a T once again. Yes, there's, I'd say about 100 in there or so. And then they did show the virtual fans. Now, whether those fans are actually live right now virtually through the link that they would have sent out to everyone or not. Of course, now they've now from the months, they have enough content that they could, do what they want with. As mentioned, the whole card actually not that bad, better than a few of the past events, but nonetheless, we have Damian Priest, Johnny Gargano for this NXT North American title. Finn Balor, Kyle O'Reilly, that'll still show as well for the NXT Championship. Kushida, Velveteen Dream, they've been in a feud as of late, along with Swerve Scott challenging Santos Escobar for the Cruiserweight title, and then Io and Candice for the NXT Women's Championship. And we already saw Rhea Ripley, so the production with NXT now scaled up to what we've seen as of late with the new WWE Thunderdome. There's actually live fans in attendance, so, and we'll see if they put that virtual fan board back up or not. They showed that as soon as they came in after the yeah, we got virtual fans. Now, whether or not those are live feeds or not beats me, but bell rings, match underway, and we got that cage fence barricade now. No more plexiglass, which is a good sign. And the commentators are actually live on the scene as well, with Vic Joseph, Wade Barrett, all hail the king, and Beth Phoenix looks to be there as well. So let's see what does in fact happen tonight, but this is going to be NXT now moving forward, at least for the time being, because honestly, I don't believe personally we'll be getting back to what we know as normal with professional wrestling, at least, or with any sports or just life in general, until, of course, we get back to that. So for the foreseeable future, it's going to be what it is, because it's been what it's been, since March. And honestly, it still just is what it is, whether people don't like hearing that or not. But hashtag NXT TakeOver once again when you share Damian Priest, Johnny Gargano, NXT North American Championship on the line. And it does seem very darker in there. Like, sort of, don't want to say it, but a underground feel, as we've seen on Raw Underground as of late, that we did not actually get last week, so we'll have to see what happens tomorrow night. Raw Underground could potentially be done with, but we do have the WWE Draft coming up, as mentioned, starting on Friday and then continuing on next Monday as well. Live reactions, play-by-play. As mentioned, we'll get into everything going on here coming up throughout the night, so stay tuned. But nonetheless, right now, Damian Priest, Johnny Gargano. Does the mystery person interfere or come out after this match? Probably not, but you never know. If it is anybody, that we're thinking of, it's going to be, I believe, at some point during the middle of the show. Like, they're not going to give away right off the bat, or towards the end or after the NXT Women's Championship match, or even the NXT Championship match with Finn Balor and Kyle O'Reilly. Hell, who knows? It might even be somebody in NXT right now that, one, we've never seen on TV before. That's an up-and-comer. Or, two, somebody who's been in NXT, but that's been on the shelf, say since the spring or whenever. Not somebody coming back down from the main roster that's a former NXT champion. So, I mean, like I said, Bo Dallas is a good pick. Ember Moon as well. Bobby Roode was an option until he came out on Raw last Monday night. Who knows? It still could be him, though, too. And then James Storm, along with Tessa Blanchard, both coming in from TNA. James Storm, most recently, though, with the NWA. He's a good pick because the Cowboy himself has mentioned that last vignette they had him, whoever it is, drive by on a motorcycle downtown Orlando. So, as mentioned, is that a sign? Is it a veteran from any company, for that matter, coming down? Do they sign somebody from New Japan that we don't know? Maybe Jay Lethal from Ring of Honor. I think people would go ballistic if it was, in fact, him. This caged fence barricade that they now have, it's not really locked in that well, because with Priest and Gargano now fighting ringside, now up on the ring apron, steel steps being used as well. They can grab onto it and like pull it closer to the ring, and like it comes undone. So I don't know if that's the way it's supposed to be or not. Obviously, that's what just happened, but we'll have to see if they make any changes or not moving forward. Johnny Gargano now off the top. Gargano and Candice LeRae lose tonight. I will not be shocked one bit if they both get called up together to either Raw or SmackDown for the upcoming draft. However, we've seen what's happened as of late with former NXT superstars up on Raw or SmackDown, and don't want to say they'll get buried by any means, but knowing, unfortunately for Gargano and Candice LeRae, they probably would, in fact, get buried. So, best bet, not have Gargano win by any means, but if he does win, okay, maybe Priest then goes up. Vince might, like him a little bit more. I think there's probably more potential for Damian Priest right now up on the main rosters than what there is for Gargano. But if they have Gargano and Candice LeRae come up together, that might be a little bit different, because then you'll have another couple. But you know what they try to do with couples, and not split them up. So, let's see what happens. Gargano and Priest going back and forth. We'll see what happens with the mystery person, because they, at the end of both of the vignettes, both of the green and black promos that we saw from outside the new Capitol Wrestling Center in Orlando and downtown, driving by the Amway Center, at the end it had today's date, 10/4/20. October the 4th, 2020, NXT TakeOver 31 now tonight, underway. So, hell, who knows? They might not even debut. They might just have a, because they did the voiceover when they talked, they might have the same thing happen tonight, and then, keep us on the edge of our seats until Wednesday, or maybe drag this out for 2 months like they did with Retribution, and then not know who the hell it is, and keep us guessing. And Retribution in quarantine due to COVID with good old Dijak, T-Bar himself with Dio Madden, Mace, and Shane Thorne, Slappy Flapjack. But Damian Priest now with a power slam there of some sorts. Cover 1, 2, and Gargano actually kicks out 2.5 on that. So we'll see what happens. I would think, of course, James Storm's probably your top. Bo Dallas, because they said a former champion like coming back for revenge, basically. So, I mean, that could mean anything. I don't think it's going to be anybody from New Japan, because they have their company back up on its feet after being on hiatus due to the pandemic, of course, over the past few months. And they just began their new tournaments, so I doubt it's going to be anybody there. If it was Ring of Honor, it'd be either Jay White or Jay Lethal, but we don't know if it's a man, we don't know if it's a woman, singles competitor, a tag team, a trio. Who knows? It might be Forgotten Sons. We haven't seen them since I believe it was Jackson Riker stating his opinion, having some remarks on the President of the United States and good old Donald Trump. And Trump now actually in the hospital, so you get well soon, as he came down with COVID-19 over the past few days. But nonetheless, hopefully, as mentioned, everyone's staying safe, doing what you got to do to live life during this very odd, weird year of 2020 with the coronavirus pandemic. But NXT TakeOver 31 tonight. Supposed to have Steelers Titans earlier this afternoon. That game got postponed due to COVID. Pushed back until the 25th now of October, when the Steelers were supposed to play the Baltimore Ravens, but then the Steelers, along with the Ravens, then had a bye week the following week on November 1st. So that game got moved back a week. Steelers Titans got moved to the 25th. And then we'll get more into with whatever, with everything else that's currently going on. And honestly, whatever happens, happens. And however it comes out, it comes out. Obviously, of course, half of today wasn't the plan. Supposed to have a couple streams, but it is what it is. You move forward and move along. But now, no live reactions were planned for tomorrow, but now we do. So be sure to subscribe. And as mentioned, we'll get more into everything going on, along with recapping NFL Week 4 Sunday from earlier today, as beginning a little after 8 p.m. tonight as well. NFL Sunday Night Football, 49ers hosting the Eagles, who tied the Bengals last Sunday. That'll be Sunday Night Football tonight. We'll get that turned on once that game begins as well. So NXT TakeOver 31, good match with Priest and Gargano, and good to hear the crowd actually clapping on the side of the, and how the plexiglass might even still be there behind the caged fence barricade. Cover 1, 2, and Gargano kicks out once again. See a replay of the power bomb on the ring apron, and then a cover before they kick out. The new Battlegrounds. That's who it's brought to us by. But good to hear the fans actually clapping on the barricade, getting involved. Because, I mean, sometimes you can hear the virtual fans, sometimes you can't. And honestly anymore, who knows if they're actually live or not. But Gargano with a chop block to the back of the left knee of Damian Priest. Chat questions and comments, always greatly appreciated. that like button. Clothesline from Punishment Martinez. Couple kicks now from Johnny Wrestling. Unless, of course, that's what Gargano's calling. And then we had a kick out there as well. Sorry for any technical difficulties. Once again with the buffer, the disconnect, and the reconnect. Last week, for the first of the 2 live streams, we had an overheating problem for some reason. That did not happen in the nightcap, but knock on wood, hopefully that doesn't happen ever again, regardless of the time. Quick roll up, cover 1, 2, and another kick out. With the WWE draft, superstars being called up from NXT, it's all going to depend on what happens tonight. Okay, we see the pods now. They're about probably at least 6 feet apart, I'd say. Maybe even a little more. But about 100 people or so actually there tonight watching this live. And then the Thunderdome aspect for NXT now too. They teased earlier today that NXT could be a part of the draft, but then they deleted the tweet. Big choke slam there from Damian Priest, cover 1, 2. Gargano kicks out once again. That's all he does is kick out left and right. But they then deleted the first tweet. Who would you like to have be the first? Damian Priest up top. Gargano rolls out of the ring now. But here comes Damian Priest. And Gargano, in the meantime, drags 2 members of the WWE production, pulls them into the way, and oh, that was a big low blow. A very big low blow from Gargano. Super kick right to the side of the head to Damian Priest. Cover. Ref now back in the ring. 1, 2, and kick out at 2.5 by Damian Priest. Match continues. So Johnny Wrestling playing dirty tonight. Not getting away with it just yet. Damian Priest still your NXT North American champ. But after Gargano slid out of the ring, Priest with a maneuver over the top rope. Gargano pulls a few cameramen, it looked like, in the way. He took them out. Ref, along with people from backstage, come out to the aid to help them. Gargano then with a low blow, cover, kick out. Now we got a crossface in the middle of the ring. Gargano trying to get Damian Priest to either fall asleep or tap out. As this is for the NXT North American Championship. Beth Phoenix with a new look. And it seems like she's dyed her hair, if that is in fact her on commentary. As we do have Vic Joseph and Wade Barrett ringside, but they haven't actually panned to the announce team just yet. They did to Vic Joseph when we started the show, introducing the new Capitol Wrestling Center. After that video package highlighting that former corporation before the entrance for NXT TakeOver 31 tonight. And then now this match kicking us off.
Knee right to the shoulder joint, the left shoulder joint of Damian Priest.
So now we got a set of steel steps unhinged from the corner. Gargano notices and gonna try to do something here with Priest and those steel steps, but Priest will probably move out of the way, and Gargano go back or face first. Priest might reverse this and Yeah, right hand. Maybe a DDT from the ring apron to the top of the steel steps, or a vertical suplex of some sorts, it looks like they're trying to go for at least. Big left hand from Johnny Wrestling. Priest holding on just barely. Big kick from Damian Priest now. And a super kick as he's still holding his groin after taking that low blow ringside a few minutes ago now. Now Gargano on the ring apron. DDT, nope. Priest catches him. And cover. 1, 2. And Damian Priest defeats Johnny Gargano and retains the NXT North American Championship. It sounds like Vic Joseph is live on commentary, actually talking to the crowd. Now, Wade Barrett doesn't, but maybe it's just how it sounded there a minute ago with Vic Joseph. Damian Priest still your NXT North American champ. There's Gargano, along with Candice LeRae, because I would assume she's now going to lose too. Are they going to go up to the main roster sometime within the next week during the draft? We'll see. See some replays now of this match. Actually a good match. As we hit, I think it's about 7:30. Yeah, almost 7:30 here on the East Coast in the U.S. So, what, about a 20-minute match after entrances, or even with entrances, after the video package and entrance for TakeOver tonight with the new Capitol Wrestling Center, the renovated Performance Center in Orlando. As it seems like they'll be ready to go next time around if something like this ever happens again, and they won't have to rush to figure, hey, we got to do this now, and we got to, close up training for however long and run TV in here until we figure something else out. As that's, of course, has been what's been happening. So, Damian Priest, living forever, still your NXT North American champ. And the production's just scaled up to above 10. Earlier today now, Undisputed Era walking to the arena. There's Finn Balor also arriving as well. The Prince is your new NXT champ, 60-minute Iron Man match. And then they had the conclusion of that a week later to determine the new NXT champ. Finn Balor beat him clean 1, 2, 3. Now facing Kyle O'Reilly tonight for the championship. Kushida Velveteen Dream coming up next, it seems like. And we'll probably get about a 2.5 hour pay-per-view, I think. To 9:30. Now here's Kushida signing with the company a few years back now during, I believe it was Royal Rumble weekend, if I'm not mistaken. Might have actually been WrestleMania 35 weekend now that I think about it, in NYC. As he signed before, that would have been TakeOver New York, which seems forever ago now. And now Kushida finally being put in a position where we know he's going to win this match. Velveteen Dream's gotten over as of late since he's returned once again, gotten the upper hand on Kushida. He's battled injuries. He's been in a tag team with Alex Shelley, who then went back to TNA. He's part of the Impact Motor City Machine Gun Tag Team Champions in Impact Wrestling. So until now, it seems like they've wanted to do stuff with him, Kushida, here before the Velveteen Dream match tonight, but the timing just hasn't added up and hasn't worked out due to whether it's okay, we want to do this with you, and then you get injured, and then put you in a tag team, and then that doesn't work out because pandemic hits and tag team partner leaves. So until now, I mean, they haven't had a chance, honestly, to, even though they've wanted to do stuff with him, they haven't had a chance to do stuff with him. But he, along with Velveteen Dream for that matter, I mean, Dream might get called up too. They've been teasing that for I don't know how long now, during the draft over the next week or so. And then who knows, we might have a few free agents afterwards. We've got the brand-to-brand invitational up on Raw and SmackDown. We'll have Kevin Owens and The Fiend Bray Wyatt on Raw and SmackDown this upcoming week. But Kushida, along with Finn Balor down there putting talent over as a known NXT champion right now, Kushida's one of the many faces of the future of NXT. And TakeOver, here I come. Kushida going to defeat Velveteen Dream coming up next. NXT TakeOver 31. Velveteen Dream, Patrick Clark, as we knew him as back about 5 years ago as well. It was Tough Enough. That's when we first saw Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville as well. Mandy now on Monday Night Raw, looking like Trish Stratus, but nonetheless, that group, they've actually had some luck with getting some good talent out of it. And I mean, storyline-wise, they do something with it or not, you know, okay, we're still here and, you know, the world's still going to spin. So Velveteen Dream Kushida coming up next. NXT TakeOver 31 as he pounds on the cage fence. That's the barricade for NXT now, moving forward in the new edgier Raw feel for the yellow brand of the WWE in the new Capitol Wrestling Center. But still to come, as mentioned, Kushida Velveteen Dream coming up next. We just saw Damian Priest defeat Johnny Gargano to retain his NXT North American Championship. Santos Escobar will defend his Cruiserweight title against Isaiah Swerve Scott, along with Io Shirai, Candice LeRae for the NXT Women's Championship, and Finn Balor, Kyle O'Reilly for the NXT title. So, and then of course the mystery person. Who the hell will that be? Hopefully here before too long. We'll find out. Kushida now attacking Velveteen Dream from behind. No entrance for Kushida. He just comes out from behind, attacking him in the ring. I don't know, honestly, why Kushida. But regardless of that, he's still one of the best wrestlers. So you have to put that aside and look and watch what he does in the ring. Kushida is one of the best. And he's going to defeat Doc Brown here on NXT TakeOver 31. Velveteen Dream actually has dyed his hair. It's supposed to be white, but it turned out gray. And he's wearing white pants, and he's got yellow gloves on. And of course, Back to the Future, you have Marty McFly, Dr. Emmett Brown, and Kushida, of course, his gimmick. He's looked like, ever since he's been in New Japan, Marty McFly. And now, Dream, every match for every TakeOver, he looks totally different. He's always got a new look, with his ring gear at least. But now officially we're underway. Bell rings, match underway. It's Kushida Velveteen Dream, NXT TakeOver 31. So once again, thank you for tuning in and watching. Sorry for any technical difficulties with the buffer, the disconnect, and the reconnect. Once again, becoming up here at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, NFL Sunday Night Football, with the Eagles out in Santa Clara taking on the San Francisco 49ers. We'll tune in to watch that as well, and then recap NFL Sunday from Week 4 today as well. And be sure to tune back in for more live reactions, play-by-play in the near future. Just be sure to hit that subscribe button right here on YouTube. So we got Marty McFly and Doc Brown going head-to-toe here tonight, going at it. NXT TakeOver 31, Kushida, Velveteen Dream. Kushida in full control. I don't think Dream's got an upper hand as of yet, just yet, in this match. I mean, I get they just chased themselves ringside. Now they're back in the ring. And Kushida might actually make some quick work of Velveteen Dream if this keeps up.
Strategically working on the arm, and take a look at this. Kushida using his body weight to manipulate that left elbow and trap the other arm.
Look at the strain in the shoulders of Velveteen Dream as he shivers falls back and just continues to wrench on the joints of Dream.
That's a recipe for a rotator cuff tear.
Oh, and Dream, almost out of desperation, Wade, just being able to get back to his feet.
Yeah, well, Dream is like...
Velveteen Dream might have been able to weather the early storm.
So now Velveteen Dream and Kushida fighting ringside. Seems like in the opposite corner from the timekeeper's area. Face first into that caged fence barricade that's brand new tonight. This new look for NXT. So Dream gets in the ring, breaks the count, slides right back out. Zebra's going to start counting again. Get up, Marty, get up.
All began quick, but Dream wasn't being surprised to bring attention back to him. TakeOver is where Dream believes that he belongs in front of the bright lights. And he'd love to get a victory here tonight. The extended
Velveteen Dream with a nice uppercut to Kushida. Cover, one, kick out.
And just gave one count from Kushida, but that's what we talked about early on with Kushida, Wade.
Hopefully they have a,
Absolutely not, but it seems to be...
unless of course it's going to be War Games next month, Survivor Series weekend. If in fact they even have a TakeOver event, Christmas special of some sort. Hopefully the name will at least be a little bit better. I don't get why they just wanted the simple number of 31. I mean, I get it's, you know, the next in line following NXT TakeOver 30, but you would have thought, you know, they would have come up with something a little bit different, but then knowing them, at least knowing they were going to do this, bring in some virtual fans, Thunderdome aspect to it, and have the new look, pull out a Full Sail, go back to the PC, the new Capitol Wrestling Center once again. I'm sure this has been planned for quite a while, but you know, with the times, you got to change, and plans all the time change, as mentioned. So we'll see what the future does. In fact, hold Kushida off the ropes. Velveteen Dream catches him, now has him in a standing headlock in the middle of the ring, and Kushida passing out, falling down to the ground. He's still in it though. And Doc Brown, always greatly appreciated. Kushida chants from the crowd, the fans that are actually live in attendance tonight in pods, wearing masks, of course. Friends and family also invited. I don't see any talent by any means that we would have saw, of course, on NXT TV or during recent Raw, NXT, and SmackDown events, you know, since March until the Thunderdome began. Kushida now back in control on top of Dream, throwing some haymakers. Nice arm drag into a hip toss, kick, and then both down and out. Kushida now back up on his feet, trying to pull those rubber gloves off. Now stepping on the back of the neck and pulling, now stomping, kicking the back of the head of Velveteen Dream as Kushida pulling back with his arms, trying to get him into a submission. We're going to have a quick roll up here. Now, the ref tells him, hey, from the corner of everyone there, whether virtually or actually in attendance, ringside. I wonder how you could possibly be entered into a pod. because we've seen, as mentioned, AEW starting to bring fans back too over the past few months. And, of course, selling tickets, but WWE's been quiet on this, and we didn't know anything about how TakeOver was going to look or anything like that until today. Kushida now with a drop kick right to the steel steps that have Velveteen's Dream arm lodged into the corner inside those steel steps. And depending on how hard he kicked that and how far his arm was down in the hole, super kick from Dream. I'd say maybe, he's not feeling his hand or his wrist or even his whole left arm for that matter right now, but hits him with a super kick right off the bat and a reversal in his defense. So I'm sure he's feeling some pain. His glove actually came off, so we know that. We can see that. Elbow drop off the top rope. Kushida catches him, now has him in an armbar win. And Velveteen Dream now standing ringside, somehow escaped. Now we got some right hands from Dream. Poke right to the eyes. Ref didn't see it. Dream, Vic Joseph. And I'm sitting here watching on TV. You're 10 feet away, for God's sakes. Live there in Orlando. Kick out on the quick roll-up. And Velveteen Dream now in another submission, trying to get out of this. Velveteen Dream now taking his other glove off. Wonder if LAPD will find that one, if it was 1994 or not. Slams him down. Now going to go up top once again, it looks like. A little buffer on, catches back up to itself. Velveteen Dream now up on the top rope. Going to go for another elbow drop, it looks like. That connects this time around. Kushida can't reverse it into a submission, into an armbar. But Dream really selling his left arm in this match versus Marty Kushida McFly. Cover 1, 2, and Kushida going to Velveteen Dream has him by the wrist.
And at this point, look at Velveteen Dream. Just looking at the
Big clothesline from Velveteen Dream.
what is left of Kushida?
Yells something at the camera. I didn't catch it. He's got something in his back pocket too, it looks like. Velveteen Dream does. And now Velveteen Dream with a rope break, but actually pushes himself off the ropes. And I don't know why he did that, because Kushida still has the submission locked in. Now they are both up on their feet, standing still. Kushida now up on the shoulders once again, Dream. Kushida makes Velveteen Dream tap out. More buffering. I don't get what's up with that tonight. So Dream hit his move with Kushida up on his shoulders, but then Kushida reversed it in the process into his armbar and a quick tap out, 1, 2, 3. Kushida with the win, defeating Velveteen Dream tonight at NXT TakeOver 31. Give me Finn Balor, give me Kushida for the NXT Championship coming up on NXT, whether that be, on NXT TV or even at the next NXT TakeOver event. All depending, of course, on who the hell the mystery person is going to be tonight. few replays here. Got a replay of the finish with the tap out. Kushida with the big win. Figured he'd win, as mentioned. Knew he was going to, with Dream getting over. Now Kushida attacking after the match. Says, I don't want to go back to the future anymore. Now puts him in another armbar. Dream tapping out, but this match is done and over with. He keeps it up, he's going to rip his arm off its socket. Now here come more zebras, more refs from the back. Going to try to break this up. So is that a turn heel a little bit for Kushida? Probably not, but it could very well keep this feud moving. Or it could officially write off Velveteen Dream from NXT. And Dream could, as Kushida attacks once again, Velveteen Dream could go up to the main roster as it buffers once again, but then it catches up to itself. Say, where the hell are the flying cars? That was supposed to happen back in 2015. Plus, I want to drive faster than 88 miles an hour. Kushida with the win over Velveteen Dream. Marty McFly over Doc Brown at NXT TakeOver. Good match. Very, very good match. Both matches so far tonight. A pluses. As it continues to buffer. This never does that for the network. I don't get what's up with that. There is some weather. As mentioned, we could have a storm brewing tonight, though, on NXT, too. But there is some weather, in fact, in the area. And then as of late, with the technology, Wi-Fi as a whole, with the buffer, the disconnect, the reconnect on my end, I mean, I'm not honestly shocked, but it just normally doesn't do it on that end for the network. But it is what it is. It's technology. It's good, but then it also sucks. And WWE Elite. Make your collection elite. Got a few of those, a few feet behind me. And now what do we got here? We got a Castle in the dark. There's Shotzi Blackheart. Trick or Treat. What is this from Kit Kat? Are we having another NXT? Oh my God, we're having NXT Halloween Havoc. Oh, so we still are getting Halloween Havoc. That'll be on, first time in 20 years, Halloween Havoc returns. It's formerly WCW, of course. That'll be NXT TV that Wednesday night, October the 28th. They don't want to compete with Saturday night Big Ten college football on Halloween with Ohio State and Penn State. Or even have a takeover event on a Saturday anymore. It seems like they're all on Sundays. All the pay-per-views in the WWE are on Sundays, whether it be a takeover or, in fact, hell, we had Clash of Champions last Sunday. We got Hell in a Cell coming up in a few weeks. So on, will conclude next Monday night. Then a few weeks from tonight, October the 25th, WWE Hell in a Cell. Coming up next, though, NXT Cruiserweight Championship, Santos Escobar versus Isaiah Swerve Scott. Should be a good match as well. And then we'll get Io and Candice, followed by Finn and Kyle O'Reilly to close things out along with Mystery Person. And then that'll do it for NXT TakeOver tonight. But then NXT Halloween Havoc. Trick or Treat, Wednesday, October the 28th. That's big news. That's big breaking news. Because everybody was expecting Halloween Havoc to be a takeover, potentially on Halloween, because Halloween's on a Saturday this year. Like I just said, it seems like they don't want to compete with other stuff on Saturdays, as of now at least. They'd rather stay to Sundays, because even going back, how they brought back In Your House back in June, we had the 30th NXT TakeOver event, and now tonight, of course, the 31. They started the Worlds Collide. That obviously didn't really work out with the pandemic. They had the Tampa TakeOver event over a few weeks on NXT TV, but
All of your showcasing won't be enough because what you call a bag of tricks is century tradition.
I'll also, more so than not, probably have live reactions of NXT TakeOver Halloween Havoc on NXT TV. W this Wednesday, they'll celebrate 30 years of the demo god Chris Jericho, as WWE did the same back in April for 25 years of Triple H. But then a week from Wednesday, October the 14th, it'll be the 1-year anniversary show of AEW, and then 2 weeks from there, Halloween Havoc with Hell in a Cell the Sunday before, of course. Here comes Isaiah Swerve Scott. It'll be Santos Escobar and Swerve Scott for the Cruiserweight title. Should be a good match. I mean, I honestly don't know what direction I'll go here. Didn't record predictions once again for the second consecutive week. Time, once again, just not on my side with sitting down, recording a preview prediction for Clash of Champions or TakeOver 31. Now, tonight, now this week, there very well could be a draft preview. Not 100% sure about that as of yet, along with Hell in a Cell in a few weeks. But just be sure to subscribe. That's all you have to do. Subscribe to that red subscribe button, and then you'll be up to date. And more buffering with the WWE Network. More buffering. Don't understand why it's doing it a lot this evening, because normally never ever buffers. Maybe every once in a while, but I haven't had the network buffer in, God, probably at least since at least the pandemic began, I'd say. It would probably have to be sometime late last year, if not earlier than that, but we'll have to get out of this maybe. Start it over. But pick it up live, of course, where they're at. Santos Escobar coming out. Maybe. Maybe not. Technology, folks. It's good, but it also sucks. I don't know if anybody else is in fact watching NXT TakeOver tonight and also experiencing some technical difficulties from the WWE. But if you are, please let me know in the comments below if you are in fact watching as well. As it just buffers and then it just cuts out, and it doesn't bring back the actual event. Huh, that's a little odd. But I did have a problem the other night too. Here we go. So match underway, Santos Escobar, Isaiah Swerve Scott, Cruiserweight title on the line. I did have some problems the other night recently, as it buffers once again, with I wasn't even allowed to get in to watch some streaming services, and for whatever reason that was, I don't know. But it's just that time of year, everything's being updated, whether we like it or not, because then, of course, until the next time it happens, it'll be fine and dandy. It'll be good to go. So, Santos and Swerve going at it. As mentioned, today's original plan was in fact supposed to be at 1 p.m. Eastern Time, Steelers and Titans in the NFL. Live reactions play of that, along with NXT TakeOver 31 this evening. Well, here we are, NXT TakeOver 31 right now. Hashtag NXT TakeOver. Once again, when you share on social media. But after last Monday night's live stream with Monday Night Football, Chiefs, Ravens, and Monday Night Raw, we found out then on Tuesday that the Tennessee Titans had a few positive COVID tests, the first in the NFL this season. So then the game was, in fact, postponed until, as mentioned earlier, Sunday, October the 25th. The original scheduled date for the Steelers-Ravens first matchup in Baltimore, but then due to Pittsburgh and Baltimore having a bye week a week later, Sunday, November the 1st, the Titans bye week became today, along with the Steelers. So 2 week 4 bye weeks, which is always tough, of course. But now that game on the 25th, the Steelers will host the Eagles next Sunday, along with the Browns the following week, 2 weeks from today. And then they'll go on the road to Tennessee before Baltimore and then Dallas over the next month. So they've had a few game home stretch when it's all said and done in 2 weeks since the beginning of the season, starting off on the road on Monday Night Football against the Giants, but then 4 straight home games followed by 3 straight away games to get to the halfway point. So, of course, yeah, in fact, will be tough, especially having a week 4 bye now. But that game was originally scheduled for today, postponed, so no live reactions, of course. But then, a few days ago now, Cam Newton, along with Jordan Tomu, who lit up the XFL at the St. Louis Battlehawks on the practice squad as the Kansas City Chiefs quarterback, backing up Patrick Mahomes, they both tested positive for COVID. So then the Patriot-Chief game for today was also postponed until now tomorrow night. We have a doubleheader once again, Monday Night Football week 4 tomorrow night. Be sure to tune in for more live reactions, as that game was supposed to be at 4:25 today on CBS. So then that just screwed up everything with the streaming, with what games were in fact going to be on CBS and Fox, and what times, because a few games got switched, and then with stuff being updated, not updating, not knowing versus previously knowing what games were supposed to be on. So it was supposed to be Steelers Titans along with TakeOver. However, that did not happen because the Steelers Titans game got postponed, and then Patriots Chiefs obviously now postponed until tomorrow night as well. So 2 Monday night games: Patriots Chiefs, Falcons Packers, WWE Monday Night Raw tomorrow night as well. Be sure to tune in. And then today, the Colts and Bears from Soldier Field, Chicago, they're supposed to kick off at 1 p.m. on CBS. Thought potentially that game very well could be on in my area. However, they moved that until 4 o'clock, and then that was supposed to be the 4 o'clock game in my area. However, Bills Raiders from Vegas, still scheduled for 4, stayed put on CBS at 4 o'clock. However, that was the game that I, in fact, ended up getting in my area. And then we go back to 1 o'clock on Fox and on CBS, because the Steelers Titans are supposed to be on CBS. They give us Ravens and Skins, the Washington football team. Didn't want to watch that. And then promoted today to have live reactions play of Browns and Cowboys. However, 1 o'clock rolls around on Fox, that wasn't the case. We ended up getting Saints Lions for some unknown reason. I don't know why. Closer to Cleveland than I am Detroit, but it is what it is. So the 1 o'clock games got screwed up because with the postponements, of course, and then they moved a few 1 o'clock games to 4:25 because the Patriots-Chief game got postponed until tomorrow night. And now here we are, NXT TakeOver 31. So thanks for tuning in and watching. But now tomorrow night, as honestly, this past weekend as a whole has just been a blur. Culture Bowl yesterday was all right, wasn't bad. We had the Broncos and Jets on Thursday Night Football in a shit show. Denver ended up picking up the first win, as Cincinnati did today, as well against the Jacksonville Jaguars. But as mentioned, life goes on. The world's going to spin, whether we like it or not. And, you know, we got to adjust. We got to change with the times. So plans change, of course. So if you're hoping to tune in to see any live reactions play today, well, here we are for NXT TakeOver as planned. But earlier, things got messed up due to a few NFL games being postponed due to COVID, of course. and then a few of the other games, streaming-wise, being scheduled and then rescheduled, and not knowing, what game was going to be on, even though it said this game's going to be on, and they show something different. So that's why earlier, no live stream. But tomorrow night, after NXT TakeOver 31 tonight, NFL Monday Night Football doubleheader once again at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. A rematch from the 2018 AFC Championship game. A game in which the Chiefs will face the Patriots for the first time ever without Tom Brady, as the Bucs beat the Chargers today down in Tampa as well. As Santos Escobar and Isaiah Swerve Scott are still going at it for the Cruiserweight Championship. The past two Super Bowl champions, New England Patriots and Kansas City Chiefs, will now face off on national television, NFL Monday Night Football on CBS. I believe that is history being made, history's being broken. I don't believe CBS has ever hosted a Monday night game in its history. I could be wrong, but as far as I know, it was always ABC, ESPN. So tomorrow night, Monday Night Football doubleheader will kick off from Arrowhead in Kansas City, Missouri, with the Patriots and Chiefs, a postponed, rescheduled game from today, tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. And then on ESPN at 8:50, close to 9, game's not going to kick off until 9 anyway on ESPN. Falcons, Packers, Monday Night Football. So be sure to tune in, live reactions, play-by-play, live right here on YouTube. NFL Monday Night Football, Patriots, Chiefs, Falcons, Packers, and WWE Monday Night Raw. The final Raw before the 2020 WWE Draft. Kick out at 2.5 from Santos Escobar. And then also this Thursday, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Chicago Bears, followed by WWE Draft on Friday Night SmackDown this Friday. Next weekend, next Sunday, Eagles, Steelers, Vikings, Seahawks, along with WWE Monday Night Raw a week from tomorrow. So be sure to subscribe right here on YouTube. That's the easiest way to stay up to date. Like, follow, and subscribe. Links in the description below. Santos Escobar, Isaiah Swerve Scott for the NXT Cruiserweight Championship. Still to come, we'll recap the day we saw today in the NFL for Week 4 NFL Sunday. But nonetheless, NXT TakeOver 31 right now with its third match of the night. Still 2 more to go, plus a mystery person. And then NFL Sunday Night Football about to begin as well, as we should get that on NBC with the San Francisco 49ers hosting the Philadelphia Eagles. So Del Fantasma now getting involved ringside, helping out Santos Escobar. And then Swerve gets thrown down, cover 1, 2, and a kick out at 2.5 once again. Match will continue. And hopefully here we can get this on. Why the hell it's not turning on. Come on, work with me. Huh. That's interesting. We'll try another way. Maybe. We'll see. I don't get why it's just not loading. Santos Escobar thrown into Del Fantasma ringside now. Here comes, who the hell's that? Big kick to the side of the head. Cover, 1, 2, and another kick out at 2.5. And yeah, I don't understand why this isn't loading. If you haven't noticed, too, I'm looking now straight ahead rather than down. I moved a few things around recently. So here we go. All right. Seems like we're good now. It's finally loading as the Eagles are out in San Fran taking on the Niners on Sunday Night Football. All right. We're good. Ooh, Swerve Scott with a stomp right to the arm of Santos Escobar. Off the ropes. Big kick. Swerve Scott going to become Cruiserweight champ. Off the top. What was that? 6:30. Kick out at 2.5. That's what it looked like. No fans in attendance for Eagles, Niners. We'll have to see if the Niners get any of their injured players back this evening. They do have cardboard cutouts. Eagles will take on the Steelers next Sunday. Coming off a tie last week with the Bengals. This is an awesome chance. It's alright. It's not as good as the first two matches. It's pretty good. Not bad. He didn't even hit his head. Come on, don't give me that. No. No. He didn't even hit his head. No. No, he's not out. Don't give me that bullshit. That's on Swerve Scott. He didn't fall far back enough. Trying to look like he hit his head off the ring post, and then Escobar with the cover. 1, 2, 3 in the middle of the ring. Santos Escobar retains his NXT Cruiserweight Championship tonight at NXT TakeOver 31. We'll recap NFL Week 4 coming up here shortly. As there was a few good games earlier, nothing really, shouldn't say dramatic, as we did have a few close games come down to the wire late, but not as an exciting slate as what we've seen the past couple weeks, kicking off a year. But about 1 year ago, well, a little over that now, we would have had the debut of AEW and NXT on TV. But then, as that was a year ago on Friday, October 2nd. But now, 1 year ago tonight, about 15 minutes or so late, the WWE Friday Night SmackDown on Fox debut. As The Rock, at that point in time, would have been in the ring with, I believe, Becky Lynch, if I'm mistaken, with King Corbin, giving him rock bottoms, and I don't think we've seen Dwayne ever since, but he's obviously, of course, doing his own thing. His blood and the tribal chief, Roman Reigns, is your new Universal Champion. There's rumors floating around, potentially, yeah, we'll get Rock and Reigns for WrestleMania come March, April, but other than Battlegrounds coming out, the big news right now in the WWE is, of course, the draft beginning on Friday, and then continuing on, concluding next Monday night. But Halloween Havoc on Wednesday night, October the 28th. As that'll be a part of NXT TV rather than an NXT TakeOver event. And this is honestly the first WWE Elite commercial I've seen in quite a while, especially on the network. Make your collection elite. And they've now aired that twice. As we are a week out, or a week followed from Clash of Champions last Sunday, so a lot of wrestling and a lot of football, of course, week in and week out with football season going on. But Carrie Underwood getting us all ready for Sunday Night Football, as we've been waiting all day. Now backstage in the locker room, Undisputed Era warming up. Kyle O'Reilly of Red Dragon Fish and O'Reilly with Adam Cole. Roderick Strong there too. People were speculating potentially that mystery person could be him. Maybe it's the Demon Finn Balor. But coming up next, it'll be the NXT Women's Championship, Io Shirai and Candice LeRae. Hell, we might be done by 9 o'clock. Unless they give this match and then the NXT Championship match about a half hour apiece. With, commercials, of course, the promos, video packages, entrances. We'll have to see. Air quality seems to be good with San Fran for the time being. It's about to host the Eagles on Sunday Night Football. We'll recap NFL Week 4 now from earlier today. We'll also do the same tomorrow night following this Sunday night game. And Al Michaels and Chris Collinsworth in the booth actually wearing masks this week. We didn't see Al Michaels last Sunday in New Orleans as the Pack went to the Bayou and defeated Breeze and the Saints, as it was Mike Tirico and Chris Collinsworth. But of course, the air density with the wildfires and then COVID-19 on top of everything. NFL Sunday Night Football on NBC. It'll be the Eagles and 49ers. This is the old school, late 90s playoff matchup. This is Donovan McNabb and Jeff Garcia on Monday Night Football. It's now Carson Wentz and Nick Mullins. Should be Wentz and Jimmy Garoppolo, but Jimmy G injured. Mullins going to start once again. Not bad out of Southern Miss. Has been in the league a few years. Wentz might be on his way out of Philly if he keeps it up, but see what happens. Eagles at 0-2-1, entering Week 4, playing tonight. If they can go on the road and pick up a win tonight and then go to Pittsburgh next Sunday, give the Steelers a run for their money, coming off a bye week they weren't planning on having this early. The NFC East, just all over the place with Dallas once again and Washington and the Giants all losing. like I said last week, you can be 6-10 and probably win that division. But earlier today in the National Football League, Joe Burrow, this past year's #1 overall pick, Cincinnati Bengals quarterback, threw for 300 yards and defeated the Jacksonville Jaguars. Pick up his first NFL win as the Bengals defeated the Jags 33-25. It seems like the sky is falling in the Big D as the Cowboys had the Browns all tied up in the first half, and then Cleveland held on as Dallas tried coming back once again at home. A little too late though, and Baker Mayfield's new home, along with being at home in Cleveland, is now AT&T Stadium in Arlington as the Browns defeat the Cowboys 49-38. Whoever had the Browns almost putting up 50, good for you. I mean, these offenses this year, through 3 weeks, now 4 weeks of the NFL, scoring the most points in NFL history. So records being broken there. The Browns defeated the Cowboys today as well for the first time since 1994. They are also 3-1 for the first time since 2001. And honestly, Dallas should be 0-4. They shouldn't have beat the Falcons a couple weeks ago, but Atlanta blew that lead, gave up the onside kick, and Dallas came from behind and kicked the game-winning field goal. As Dallas has now lost to the Rams. Should have lost to the Falcons, but won just barely. Lost to the Seahawks last. We'll get the Browns and Cowboys, I know, later on in the season. Still a very long season, 17 weeks, 16 games, only week 4, early October. As I know, the Steelers and Cowboys play about a month from now, November the 8th, excuse me. As today is October the 4th. Week 4, we're going to wrap up tomorrow night now with 2 Monday night games. But then the Steelers play the Browns in 2 weeks and then to close out the season. Along with Cleveland and Dallas, playing other teams. We'll see how the schedule shakes out, but I know, in fact, you are waiting for a live stream reaction of the Dallas Cowboys or the Cleveland Browns. I'll get to those at some point down the road. Would have liked to have called that game earlier because it did get good late. It was sort of a blowout coming on halftime, early mid-third quarter, but then Dallas started coming back, and still, as mentioned, it was a little too late. Enough time to do what they did a couple weeks ago against Atlanta, and the game they should have lost as well. But they're 1-3, should be 0-4. We'll see what the future holds for Dallas. Mike McCarthy in his first year, Dak playing on this rest of the year deal. We'll see if they re-sign him or not, but they're still playing in the NFC East with the Giants, Redskins, and Eagles, who are now playing tonight. Philly could use a win here because if not, they'll be in last place with 0 on the season. Everybody else having at least 1. Well, I take that back. The Giants haven't won yet either, but still. We'll see what happens. Check out the standings here right now too, honestly. See what's cooking there. See if anything's changed from last week. I don't honestly think nothing major, at least, because it's still early on. Especially the NFC East. Yeah, the Giants are 0-4. They've got the win. The Eagles are 0-2-1. Kickoff now with the Eagles and Niners. And then Dallas and Washington atop of the NFC East at 1-3 apiece. The Raiders ended up losing once again, back-to-back weeks. The Patriots and Bills. After defeating the Panthers and Saints in the first 2 weeks of the season, so they're 2-2. Chiefs now play tomorrow night on Monday Night Football. Chargers and Broncos both lost this week, or Denver did win, excuse me, Thursday night over the Jets. picking up their first win. But Saints, as that was the game I got at 1 o'clock rather than Cleveland Dallas for some unknown reason, because it was supposed to be Cleveland Dallas from start to finish, because the Fox 1 o'clock games weren't affected. There's a CBS 1 and 4 kicks that either got postponed or moved. So Saints with a 35-29 win over Detroit. Seahawks by 8 on the road in Miami over the Dolphins, 31-23. Bucks up the road defeated the Chargers, who also came across country. Tom Brady for 5 touchdowns, defeating Justin Herbert and the Chargers, 38-31. Ravens 31-17 over the Washington football team from the winners Washington Redskins. Panthers 2 straight, 2-2 now as well, defeating the Arizona Cardinals 31-21, who have now lost 2 in a row. So whether these teams have won early on or not, losing, everybody's, unless you're winless, of course, and this is how it always is, everybody's still in the same boat right now. But we do know a few teams that, they're clear-cut favorites to make the playoffs. They'll make the playoffs. There's a few teams that are really outside looking in, as mentioned last week, but then there's a few teams too, like the Giants or even the Jags or the Bengals, even though they won, along with the Jets, that Lincoln Riley, along with the Falcons, could be coaching next year after Oklahoma's lost 2 straight for the first time since 1999, losing Iowa State last night for the first time since a few days before John F. Kennedy was elected president back in 1960. So there's a few teams there. Of course, Jets, Jags, Bengals, Giants. They're done for. They're not making the playoffs by any means. Maybe even the Texans. They fell 0-4 too, losing once again to the Vikings 31-23 as well. So 2 final scores by the same right there with Seattle, Miami, Minnesota, Houston. So Billy O'Brien might be fighting for his job. If he does in fact get fired, he'll wind up somewhere, whether it be as an offensive coordinator or another head coach in the National Football League. As his name, when he came to the NFL, came up from Minnesota, came up for the Jets. Him and Darnold wouldn't be bad. I don't even know if Darnold's going to be, though, there next year in New York with the gangrene. Jaguars might be looking for a new head coach, too. I've said for a while now, though, I think once Bill Belichick does in fact retire, O'Brien is going to be the guy up in Foxborough with the Pats. Other than that, there's not really a whole lot of... maybe the Falcons, like I said, Lincoln Riley. I think Lincoln Riley's best option, if he does leave Oklahoma finally, after this year, would be the Atlanta Falcons. Maybe O'Brien's an option there, too. Matt Ryan, you got your receiving core, led by Julio Jones. Good running back in Todd Gurley, who's, battled injury, but we'll see what happens. But the Vikings picked up their first win there, 1-3. They defeated the Houston Texans, who fell 0-4, 31-23. Rams with a quiet 17-9 win over the Giants. Colts 19-11 over the Bears. And then the Bills beat the Raiders 30-23. Broncos on Thursday night beat the Jets 37-28. And then now tomorrow night, doubleheader Monday night once again. Patriots, Chiefs because of the postponement. And then Falcons, Packers pushed back until almost 9 p.m. Io Shirai Candice LeRae in the meantime underway on NXT TakeOver 31, co-main event for the NXT Women's Championship. Does a mystery person come out during this match afterwards? We've yet to see anything for that matter. Vignette promo wise, nothing as of yet. But I think if anything, they'll hold off and wait till after this match or to close out the show, close out the event as a whole this evening after the main event NXT Championship match with Finn Balor and Kyle O'Reilly. Niners going to punt on their opening drive, so Eagles going to get the ball back here for a catch at the 28-yard line. Tie 0 apiece ball game here, a few minutes into the first quarter on Sunday Night Football with the Philadelphia Eagles. and San Francisco 49ers. Be sure to like, follow, and subscribe on social media. The thumbs up button, share, chat questions and comments, super chats, super stickers. Always greatly appreciated as well. WWE NXT TakeOver 31. And it's co-main event with Io Shirai and Candice LeRae.
Candice Ray is willing to do that to someone she considered almost a sister. You can only imagine how late she would go to call herself champion. And LeRae charging in on Io Shirai.
LeRae's got to watch out for that pageantry and being old about the NXT Women's Championship.
Io with a slap to the face.
Pixie talking a little bit of trash. To your point,
Candice with her pixie dust fighting back.
of Io Shirai. Trying to change things so
Head first into the top turnbuckle.
right now the challenger is in control.
Now working corner to corner. Johnny Gargano was unable to become NXT North American champion once again tonight. See if Candice LeRae, who has finally been inserted into the championship picture in NXT for the women's championship. Let's see if she can win her first NXT women's title this evening as well.
Io Shirai in a wrestling match, and it didn't go well for her. The aggression, the punch.
But I'm excited for Halloween Havoc coming back.
That's the direction she's got to go.
God, they're still doing that rather than just saying no to it and not having a takeover. So, and of course, all they're worried about is ratings. It seems like, at least, which I understand. But AEW having their anniversary show on with Chris Jericho 30 years over the next 2 weeks, and then Halloween Havoc for NXT. So it'll be back and forth in that regard over the next few weeks or so. But excited for the draft in the WWE over the next week. Hell in a Cell in a couple weeks, and then NXT Halloween Havoc as they bring that pay-per-view back from being dead for the past 20 years after WCW was bought out by the WWE. So they had that promo earlier with Shotzi Blackheart saying trick or treat, and then the moon in the distance with the NXT Halloween Havoc logo on it. We saw the castle as well, and I thought it was, some because we've seen the new Ric Flair Street Profits Skittles. No Marshawn Lynch, as he's don't forget the chips with the NFL right now. I thought, something along those lines, but obviously that wasn't the case. But we get Halloween Havoc, as that should be good. I would think they'll potentially have a few rematches from tonight on that card. Some talent that, of course, wasn't on the card tonight. But Halloween Havoc making a return in a few weeks on the 28th. Drop kick from Io off the top rope. Cover 1, 2, kick out at 2.5 by Candice LeRae. And with not, we'll bring this up too, not previewing or predicting over the past week or so with these events, it's not like I'm not doing the live stream and then still discussing, predicting, during the beginning or throughout the night. So, as long for myself at least, get my point across, content's there. Of course, it's all scattered and you gotta find it rather than, one single preview prediction video. But it's good to be, or it's a good time at least to be a wrestling fan once again, along with football, the main two sports, with previews, predictions, recaps, live reaction streams, play-by-play. So, in the midst of fall, it's a very, very good time to be live right now with pro wrestling. I don't care what company, and then college and NFL football. Greg Ward Jr., the former Houston Coug, former quarterback, now wide receiver in the NFL, the Eagles, picks up the first down out past the 45-yard line. Carson Wentz on a slant over the middle. First and 10 officially around the 40-45-yard line. EO and Candice LeRae going at it. Nice backbreaker there from Candice LeRae. Off the middle rope with a moonsault cover. 1, 2, and Io Shirai kicks out at 2.5, just barely. Go right back to Greg Ward out past midfield into 49er territory. Carson Wentz has a favorite target now tonight. And Greg Ward, honestly, right now, as he was late last year, honestly, Candice was just in a crossface, quick roll up, and then reverses that into a crossface of her own. Now trying to get Io Shirai to tap out. Io trying to climb for the bottom rope. And Io Shirai somehow grabs the bottom rope. So rope break. And then Candice with an elbow right to the ref. I don't think she meant to do that, but she notices he's down and out. Here comes Io Shirai, going to reverse into a Samoan drop. And now Io going off the top rope, moonsault of her own. Candice gets her knees up, and then Io goes flying into the ref, who just got sent ringside. So we'll probably have another referee come out. Candice will probably do something dirty like Gargano did earlier with the low blow. Trying to get the submission now locked in. Ooh. Cover. 1, 2, 3, but there's no ref to count it. Candice LeRae should be NXT Women's Champion right now. But now here comes Johnny Gargano with a referee uniform on. Cover 1, 2, quick, and then kick out at 2.5 by Io Shirai. And Johnny Wrestling can't believe it. As he gets up, kicks the ropes. The real referee's down and out ringside. Cover for Candice. 1, 2, kick out at 2.5 once again by Io Shirai. As Gargano and the real ref got face to face in the ring, pushing and shoving. Hey, that's now off the top rope. Io going to go right back up top for another moonsault. Cover. 1, 2, 3. Io Shirai retains and defeats Candice LeRae tonight, and is still your NXT Women's Champion. A good match, very, very good match. Gargano getting involved, as mentioned, with the sorry for any technical difficulties with the buffer, disconnect and reconnect. But who knows? Might have the mystery person now come out. Gargano came out as the ref, as the real referee got knocked out ringside. He brought the championship in. Once he got back in the ring, him and Gargano went at it. He dropped the title. Candice then used that as a weapon. Took out Io. She still kicked out, though. And then Io gained control after that. And, successfully retains, defeats Candice LeRae is still NXT Women's Champ. You know, with moonsault that Candice got her knees up, sent the ref ringside after he got kicked in the side of the head, and then big stomp there on the submission. That was 1, 2, 3 then, and then Gargano came out, quick 1, 2 and a half, and Io kicked out. Gargano grabbed the title. The real referee got back in. They went at it. He dropped the title. Candice used it as a weapon, hit Io. She still kicked out. And then a few moonsaults later, Io Shirai still NXT Women's Champ. So Io Shirai defeats Candice LeRae. Io Shirai is still your NXT Women's Champion. And is that Toni Storm?
To see you. Hey, look down on me. I just wanted to congratulate you on what an impressive victory that was.
Toni Storm up on the Titantron.
I also wanted to make sure that you and everyone else around here is keeping their head on a swivel, because as of right now, Toni Storm is back in NXT.
Toni Storm is back in NXT. She's going to turn the place upside down and inside out. Is she the mystery person then? Tony time. So it'll be Io Shirai and Toni Storm for the NXT Women's Championship.
Toni Storm is coming to NXT.
Io gives her sign of approval. Likes that? No. Toni Storm's not the mystery person, because now we got a motorcycle driving in the parking lot of the new WWE Capitol Wrestling Center, the PC. Now driving around the building. We got that green look. And it seems like one of the back entranceways. And Io's still in the ring. So this is either going to be Ember Moon or Tessa Blanchard, probably. As whoever the hell it is just walked in. Io doesn't know what to think. And whoever it is, that's Ember Moon. She's walking out. She's at the top of the entrance. Gonna take her helmet off. And it's Ember Moon. Ember Moon is back. Ember Moon is back in NXT. All right. That was good. She's got a motorcycle gimmick now. As it buffers. So that'll probably be the end of that. And it actually kicks me out. So some trouble with the WWE Network tonight for some reason. I don't know why. I do not know why. Maybe it's retribution. Maybe it's Ember Moon with her her drone-like vignettes that we've seen. But they ran that for, what, 2 weeks? 2.5 weeks? And Ember Moon just returned to NXT. She's been out injured for quite a while with an Achilles injury. What a night it's been in NXT. So Vic Joseph coming up next. NXT Championship, Finn Balor, Kyle O'Reilly. See if we can go back here a little bit just to see if anything happened with Ember Moon and Io Shirai. As there's Ember on the top of the stage. She takes her helmet off. It's Ember Moon. her head, the sides of her head are shaved. She's still got the long hair though. Still looks the same as that black and red hair. And they fade to black. That was it then. Okay. And then we just saw some commercials, so we didn't miss much. I don't get why it just buffered, but or actually like kicked me out. But coming up next, it'll be Finn Balor, Kyle O'Reilly for the NXT Championship. Main event time for TakeOver 31. This should be a good match too. But Ember Moon was in fact the mystery person, and right after Toni Storm said she's coming to NXT once again, going after Io Shirai, here comes Ember Moon. So over time, it's going to be Io, Toni, and Ember for the NXT Women's Championship. Reinventing that NXT Women's division. Giving it some breathing room, as honestly has been, along with the NXT and WWE and AEW women's divisions. Haven't been that good as of late. So, see what happens. But, yeah, Ember Moon back in NXT. As she was, in fact, the mystery person. As talked about earlier tonight and over the past 2.5 weeks now. But who knows what's up with Tessa Blanchard? She's no longer in TNA. You know, no WWE, no AEW as of yet. You know, maybe she's holding out until she wants to actually do something again. I don't know. Last I heard, you know, she was still stuck in Mexico, but who even knows if that's true? I think she'd be better off in AEW, to be honest with you. But we'll see. But Ember Moon back in NXT. That's big. That was good. And then the green worked out because, you know, she's had that in her entrance before. As mentioned, it was a little harder to figure out, as you know, if compared to, you know, some of the others, but you know, it still worked out, and it'll work out over time. Bo Dallas, people were thinking him, along with James Storm. I even said Daniel Bryan, AJ Styles. You know, if there were going to be anybody coming down from the main roster that, whether they've been in NXT or not before, storyline-wise for Finn Balor, you know, those would be the best options. Even Kevin Owens, but they give some juice to the women's division with Ember Moon returning, and then Toni Storm coming back down to NXT as she has been over in NXT UK. That just restarted back up. I mean, this whole year has been just off the wall as it is, so we'll have to see what happens moving forward, but we're sort of getting back to what we know the normal to be. So Ember Moon back now, main event time. Finn Balor, Kyle O'Reilly for the NXT Championship, as he hugs it out with Roderick Strong, Bobby Fish, and Adam Cole. Baby, do they get involved at any point in time? Does the Undisputed Era split up tonight? Shock the system. And if he defeats Finn Balor to become NXT champ, well, we'll get him, you know, strumming his air guitar once again, which we haven't seen in quite a while. But Kyle O'Reilly, Finn Balor for the NXT Championship coming up right now next in NXT TakeOver 31's main event. I mean, we'll be done at the latest by 9:30, another 40 minutes or so. But I don't even think that this would go that long, to be honest with you, but we'll see. First and 10 from the Eagles. Ball at the 11-yard line as we near the end of the first quarter. Wentz out of the gun, going to hand off, actually keep it for himself, and he walks in the end zone, touchdown Philly. Now here comes Finn Balor. They give him the same look they just gave Kyle O'Reilly, walking backstage through the tunnel right behind the entrance, and then walk up the steps for his walk to the ring. Finn Balor, your NXT champion, defending against Kyle O'Reilly this evening in the main event of NXT TakeOver. 31. Philly going to go for 2, up 6-0. And they're going to get it. So 8-0. Eagles lead the Niners here in the first quarter on the Sunday Night Football. The analytics must have said, hey, go for 2. Doug Peterson likes to go for 2 the whole time, regardless. Don't know why, I'd rather just kick it, but still. We still could have a big surprise at the end of the show, even after the mystery person, because we had Tony Storm right before that. Nobody, I don't think, was expecting that. Because what's Balor going to do after this? Face Strong, face Fish, face Cole again, take out all the Undisputed Era? And I don't get why they're having the ring announcer go old school. I mean, I get the Capital Wrestling Corporation. You know, you're having the mic drop, Mr. Kennedy style, from the top of the building. You know, my name is blah 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 blah. But still, they're having that drop, and then they're having her stand there right in the middle in between the two of them, old school style, which I get, but for her at least, I just have her stand in the corner of the ring, or not even in the ring for that matter, to announce. So now it'll be Finn Balor and Kyle O'Reilly for the NXT Championship.
Main event time, NXT TakeOver 31, O'Reilly Balor. We went back to this past Wednesday, Wade. Finn Balor and Kyle O'Reilly getting into an argument about 5 years. Balor having competed for 20, Kyle O'Reilly for 15, and Kyle O'Reilly said, what is those 5 years? Hey, what's the difference? Think about what Balor has accomplished in those 5 years. Universal title, Intercontinental title, WrestleMania, returning here to NXT and becoming a 2-time NXT champion.
Go around the world and anywhere Finn Balor has been in his 20 years career, he has dominated singles. Whoa, you can say great things about Kyle O'Reilly too, but he hasn't dominated in singles competition right here in NXT yet.
These superstars going to the mat early on, would that be the advantage to Kyle O'Reilly?
I would say, Kyle O'Reilly's so proficient and resilient in jiu-jitsu. I mean, if you look at the speed at which both of these men move, it would be to Balor's advantage to get O'Reilly slowed down early on, because, I mean, I've never seen O'Reilly this slow.
crowd really banging on the glass on the new cage fence barricade. Off the ropes they go. Finn Balor still has O'Reilly in a headlock in the middle of the ring.
Undisputed Era thick as thieves. You better believe they're giving each other the answers to the test. And I'm sure Adam Cole's been coaching O'Reilly on the best strategy coming into this.
Feeling out process between these two superstars. Balor, who stated he built NXT, now NXT needs him, and the wrestling world always wants the prince.
Finn with a shoulder tackle, cover, kick out at 1.
And Balor right back on top of his challenger, as Balor has stated that he is NXT champion. That makes the NXT title weight the most important title in the game.
Ultimately, the big one here in NXT is why it's the main event. But it's funny you should bring up earlier this week the face-to-face interview with HBK between the
Undisputed chance from the crowd. Kick out once again at 1.
Finn was cold and all business as you would expect.
Big power slam.
Absolutely, but Kyle O'Reilly in that interview is charismatic, entertaining. He was the Joker. He was sending a signal to Finn Balor that despite Finn Balor's accomplishments, he's not going to take a back seat to him. He's not intimidated by him. Kyle is breathing out here tonight that he is deserving of this opportunity. He wants to win back.
Off the ropes they go once again. Phil still has him in the headlock. Finn Balor, a 2-time NXT champion now. Gonna roll through. O'Reilly up on his feet though. Now has Finn and an arm bar, but Finn reaches the bottom rope for a rope break.
You know, Kyle O'Reilly has a lot of personality. Oftentimes the jokes through Undisputed Era, but what he is in the ring is a dangerous competitor, proficient at joint manipulation.
Talking about joint manipulation, Beth. Kyle O'Reilly now has found a body part on Finn Balor and is trying to exploit the left elbow and shoulder of the NXT champion. Right now, O'Reilly is trying to grind down Balor. Balor doing his best way and trying to maybe take down.
Now Kyle O'Reilly in control with his farmer's tan.
O'Reilly standing strong.
Yeah, I have to say, when it comes to a grappling game between these two, the advantage is definitely with Kyle O'Reilly giving his BJ.
Finn trying to get back in control. Another headlock, but
Trying to take down O'Reilly, but O'Reilly able to sidestep and counter Finn Balor.
right now just a
In the early chess match, early on in this
submission
in challenge.
game.
See the way O'Reilly has his left knee planted firmly in the sternum of Balor, allowing him to manipulate that wrist.
Handlock by Balor. Turning it around. Nice takedown of Balor. Finn Balor left shoulder going right into the mat. And you can see the pain on Balor's face.
Happy Ember's back though too, along with Halloween Havoc in a couple weeks. Like I said,
And now elbows right
Ember's one of the most underrated women in the whole WWE. They've never really done anything with. I mean, she's a former NXT champion, but up on the main roster, they never really did anything with her. She was, you know, my pick a few times to win the Women's Royal Rumble, but it never happened, and she can never stay healthy, and now she's coming off an Achilles injury and back down to NXT, and it's probably the best thing for her, to be honest with you. So we'll have to see what the future holds for her, along with everybody else. 49ers with a very, very big touchdown run. Did he step out of bounds there around the 5-yard line? Maybe. An Eagles defender in the meantime as he hurdled him to get in the end zone. That's touchdown. Before that, there's an Eagles defender that like pulled up and either hurt his knee or his hamstring. It looked like he's down and out on the far sideline. As that was a missed tackle that led to the hurdle in the end zone for a touchdown. So it's 8-6 on Sunday Night Football. We'll see if the Niners go for 2 or not. Big drop kick right to the face of Kyle O'Reilly from Finn Balor. see a replay of that. Huge shot kick right to the face. Kick out at 2.5. Ooh. That might be a busted kneecap. Now his helmet first, right to the front of the knee. Darius Slay of the Eagles secondary going to be out, I would think, for a few weeks, if not a lot more. That didn't look good. As he then, tried to hop off the field and then had to hop the whole way back across the field to get to the sideline. But the 49ers score. They cut it to 1. They kick the extra point, so 8-7. 8-7 on Sunday Night Football with the Eagles leading.
This might be a mind game from Finn Balor here. We go on and on about the BJJ experience of Kyle O'Reilly, but this perhaps is Finn Balor saying to Kyle O'Reilly, hey, give me a best shot, I'm going to take it, and I'm going to come back.
And they have not yet panned to the announce table, so I still don't know if that girl with the dark hair is in fact Beth Phoenix or not. It sort of looks like her, but it sort of doesn't. So I said earlier, it looks like she, got a new look since we've last seen her, because she's been remotely calling NXT from home. But that could just be somebody sitting there as if, okay, this is her, but it's not her, just to make it look like that she's actually there. I don't know. Big chop right to the chest of Kyle O'Reilly from Finn Balor. Niners kick off and a touchback. Eagles getting the ball back up a point, 8-7 over the San Francisco 49ers under a minute to play here in the first quarter on Sunday Night Football. Another big chop from Finn. Hashtag NXT Championship. Finn now in full control. Going from corner to corner and chops right to the chest. But then Kyle O'Reilly with a knee right to the midsection on a reversal. Finn, though, with a chop of his own off the ropes. Kyle O'Reilly with a kick. Or kick and a slap.
In the field of Muay Thai, and that bit of that has looked up on Kyle O'Reilly. O'Reilly now charging in on Kyle O'Reilly, transitioning himself right back to that left elbow, trying to hyperextend. Balor with a forearm knee back to the midsection.
Finn now being thrown around, and that was sort of like 3 DDTs, but the first two they sort of turned into power slams, but he held on, and then the third one was the best DDT out of the 3, but it honestly wasn't even a DDT though either. It was more of just a power slam right to the front of the body. So Kyle O'Reilly gaining momentum, getting back in control here, but here comes Finn Balor. A few elbows, the back of the neck.
Answering back with a strong kick, buckling the left knee and right knee of Finn Balor. They get strong knees and strikes by O'Reilly, lighting up the champion. superstars, you see the chest of Kyle O'Reilly turning a bright red from those chops. The knee affected into the chest of Finn Balor. Both superstars slugging.
Finn and O'Reilly now going back and forth with some right hands and kicks, and then Kyle actually, hey, like, stop for a second, like he waves off Finn, and now he's rolling around on the mat. Ref checks in on him, and now Finn with a few stomps now at the chest.
Yeah, I've seen heavyweight boxers lose the punches in the midsection before.
And Balor relentless, back on top of Kyle O'Reilly. And once again, the official backing off the champion. I bet Kyle O'Reilly has now looked the same since that spinning kick right into the midsection, maybe knocking the air, taking the win from O'Reilly.
Yeah, I gotta wonder, guys, if he didn't get, the pulling off that kick looked like it might have been to the liver, which is a devastating.
Finn now some blows to the midsection. Kyle O'Reilly then whacks him face first off the top turnbuckle, throwing him into the corner.
Because here's that kick one more time.
We had a kick right to the gut, and then Kyle O'Reilly, hey, like, settle down for a second. Like, hold off. And it buffers, and then it's catching up with itself. I don't get why it's doing that tonight, because it never does it. And I had some trouble with it there a little earlier, too, so I don't know.
Standing tall here in NXT TakeOver 31.
That's off the Kyle O'Reilly. He's telling the referee he wants to continue. I don't think he physically can. That is the point. The mind is saying yes, but the body is saying no for Kyle O'Reilly.
This is the biggest moment in the life and the career of Kyle O'Reilly. Kyle O'Reilly is not going to quit as Finn Balor with another submission on Kyle O'Reilly. Almost a version of the count.
Finn now sitting on the back of Kyle O'Reilly, has him in a submission, and then hits an elbow drop, cover, 1, 2, kick out at 2.5.
O'Reilly's right shoulder up off the mat.
Let me put it this way, speaking in boxing terms once again, if Kyle O'Reilly had a corner man, the towel would have been thrown in at this point. He could barely defend himself.
NXT Universe coming to their feet as we take to the midsection and again the best point possibly to the liver, because back to the original kick that we saw in the matchup. Pinpoint precision by Finn Balor. Kyle O'Reilly has not been the same, and now it's Finn Balor looking for an abdominal stretch, center of the ring, and Balor has O'Reilly locked in. O'Reilly makes hip toss to counter and break the hold.
Going back to that original kick from Balor to O'Reilly's midsection, the liver shot as we're calling it now. You just see it was a delayed reaction. O'Reilly tried to immediately follow with a punch, but his body just crumbled.
Oh, jumping in on O'Reilly. Shoulders down. Title on the line. Balor able to kick out.
Another kick out by Finn.
Kyle O'Reilly getting this win.
Kyle O'Reilly having a good match at buffers again. Getting almost sick and tired of it. Kyle O'Reilly is not a singles champion. He's a tag team guy. He's a good competitor, but he's no Finn Balor. He's no Adam Cole. And it's continuing to buffer. So I don't know if anybody else is in fact having trouble tonight with the WWE Network or not, but it's giving me a ton of problems this evening for, I don't know why, but an unknown reason. It's technology. I mean, I get it. But still, it's like it shouldn't It shouldn't do this. Hopefully here soon we'll get back to the match. If not, we'll have to check out all the dirt sheets to see what did in fact happen. As it just continues to buffer. This is the second time now it's doing what it's doing, but it's been buffering all night. Doing what it's doing, it goes back to the home screen, then I can't get back into it. I tell you what. And a good match. I mean, probably not the best of the night. See, I can't even get into this. So I gotta exit again. Get back into it. See if it'll work with me or not. Like, it's just the little things that, for no reason. See, now I can't even get back into it. Yeah, it's like froze. Well, I'll turn this off, turn it back on, see if that helps by any means. Probably not, but the WWE Network, yeah, not doing so good tonight. Buffering, disconnecting, it's always something. I tell you what, it is. It's always something with technology, for me at least. It's ridiculous, it's pathetic. There's no reason for it. I mean, I get it does it to everybody, but it's just so stupid. Because when you want it to work, it doesn't. But yet, any other time when you don't need it to, it's always working perfectly fine. But if we don't have it, you know, we won't have this, half the stuff that we have. Now, I can't even connect. What the hell? Everything else is working perfectly fine. And then this has to do that. I can't even see the ending to TakeOver, for God's sakes. Yeah, don't give me that bullshit. Looks like we'll have to watch it elsewhere. Well, here we go. Here goes nothing. Hopefully we didn't miss much. If we did, we'll try to rewind it and get back to, of course, where we left off. Alright, so Finn Balor and Kyle O'Reilly still going at it. Have to watch this now on another device because we can't connect to the internet on the one thing, but it was working perfectly fine until it started giving me hell. Covered 1, 2, kick out 2.5. Match continues, but yet everything else is working, perfectly fine. So I don't know what the hell's up with that. That's never given me problems like that before. Never until now. So I'll have to look into it. I don't know. I have no clue why it is doing what it's been doing the past couple hours. Because it's, normally this or, something else. It's one thing or another. But it's never, ever, as Jericho would say, done what it just did. So I don't know what's up. We'll have to look into it. And hopefully within the next 3 weeks, it'll be working perfectly fine. I mean, hell, by the time, the show gets done, it'll be working perfectly fine probably. Which just makes you mad even more because in the meantime, you gotta, of course, switch to something else. So Finn Balor and Kyle O'Reilly for the NXT Championship once again. And then NFL Sunday Night Football, Eagles lead by 1, 8-7 on the road against the 49ers. Kyle O'Reilly bleeding from the mouth, it looks like. I haven't watched an event on this in forever. Normally I'm watching it on that, but hey, you gotta do sometimes. Kyle O'Reilly now going up top. Hits a knee right to the back of Balor. Finn taps out, he loses. Finn Balor trying to get out of this. Is Kyle O'Reilly wearing KO knee braces? Did I just notice that? Yeah, he is. Is that supposed to mean something? Does he always wear those? I don't think so. Kyle O'Reilly has this submission locked in on Finn, middle of the ring. Finn trying not to tap, trying to grab bottom rope. Maybe Karrion Kross is going to come out. They did tweet yesterday they'll be watching TakeOver tonight, so maybe we'll get Finn Balor, Karrion Kross here sooner rather than later if he's cleared to return from injury. That'd send shockwaves to have him back and then go after Finn. NXT chance. Like I said, Kyle O'Reilly's a good wrestler. He's not a singles champion, no. Not an NXT or a WWE champ. No, no way. O'Reilly goes for a kick and then Finn ducks, says no, holds his knee, and then hits O'Reilly with a stomp. Finn now in the corner. Going to go for the... No. Here comes Kyle with a knee suplex. And then Finn with another stomp. I was going to say a drop kick from the corner and then the coup de grace to pick up the win, but we're not even at that point yet. And now Finn off the top rope, coup de grace, cover, 1, 2, 3. Finn Balor defeats Kyle O'Reilly and retains his NXT Championship tonight at NXT TakeOver 31. Finn Balor still NXT Champion as thought. And to close out the first TakeOver in the new Capitol Wrestling Center, the old WWE Performance Center, so in Orlando, a renovated look, edgy, dark, raw feel to it, fans in attendance virtually and live there in person after being COVID tested and wearing masks. Finn Balor, still NXT champion, defeating Kyle O'Reilly. What's going to happen next? Ref just looked up at the entrance, so I think somebody might be coming out. And unfortunately, due to technical difficulties, was unable to finish watching TakeOver this evening how I watch all events and began tonight's, but regardless of the situation, we go to plan B. There's always a plan B, and tried to, and we did at least, finish watching it, so that's really all that matters. A good show, you know, a good TakeOver tonight, you know, a week after Clash of Champions last Sunday. We'll get Hell in a Cell, Halloween Havoc, you know, coming up next. Draft begins on Friday too, so who knows what'll happen, but a good show it was. Had 5 good matches. I still think Kushida Velveteen Dream coming into and, you know, post was the best match of the night. I do. This match was alright with Finn and Kyle O'Reilly. It wasn't as good as what I think people were hoping for, but it was still a good match. Gargano kicks out way too goddamn much. That needs to stop. He's not that good. But Damian Priest, still your NXT North America champ. See what happens here with Finn and Kyle O'Reilly. They just got done showing the replays. Finn gonna extend his hand, help him up. Haley, good match. Thanks. And closing credits. That'll do it for NXT TakeOver 31. And Kyle O'Reilly and Finn Balor. Who the hell's that? That's Ridge Holland, who has Adam Cole. As he throws Adam Cole over the barricade ringside. So now Ridge Holland going after the Undisputed Era, it looks like. Adam Cole attacked by Ridge Holland. And then thrown ringside to close it out. And Roderick Strong asking for medical. Finn Balor still in the ring. Nobody knows what just happened. Closing credits once again, and that'll do it now for NXT TakeOver. As they fade to black. that's NXT TakeOver 31. So Ridge Holland, to close it out, makes a name for himself and attacks Adam Cole before dumping him ringside. And then the Undisputed Era comes out to his aid with Finn Balor still in the ring. So it'll probably be Ridge Holland, Adam Cole, Finn Balor, Kushida maybe. We got Halloween Havoc coming up. We'll see what's next for a few of these superstars with the draft coming up. But Ridge Holland on NXT as of late, making a name for himself, and then, adding on to that tonight, looks to now be in a feud with Adam Cole, attacking him to close out the show as, about a 2.5 hour pay-per-view. It's almost 9:30 here. So they closed up a little bit before then, but of course, the big news of the night, Halloween Havoc coming back on October the 28th for NXT TV. Will not be a TakeOver event, but it will be Halloween Havoc on USA October the 28th. And then Ember Moon returning as the mystery person. However, Toni Storm now back as well in NXT, returning a few minutes prior, following the NXT Women's Championship match with Io Shirai and Candice LeRae that Io won and retained her championship belt. So a good show overall. Santos Escobar defeated Swerve Scott to retain his Cruiserweight title. Io Shirai over Candice LeRae, retaining her NXT Women's Championship. As mentioned, then Toni Storm via a video popped up on the Tron in the new WWE PC, as they're calling it, the Capitol Wrestling Center that we're all going to have to get used to, as that's what the WWE was known as prior to the WWF and the WWE. So a renovated PC into the Capitol Wrestling Center, a more edgier, darker, raw feel to it. And yeah, it seemed that way tonight. They have a new cage fence barricade. There was actually fans in attendance tonight, virtually and actually there in person after being COVID tested, and of course wearing masks. So we'll have to see what the future holds for that and the WWE Thunderdome moving forward. Raw tomorrow night, NXT Wednesday, SmackDown. The draft will begin this Friday there, including the next Monday night on Raw. But then, as mentioned, Santos, still your Cruiserweight champ, defeated Swerve Scott. Io Shirai over Candice LeRae, still your NXT Women's Champion. Toni Storm, and then Ember Moon revealed herself as the mystery person that has been only about 2.5 weeks in. That's how long we've known about this. Revealing herself as the drone biker coming back for revenge in NXT now for the NXT Women's Championship. So with Io Shirai, Toni Storm, and Ember Moon returning, the NXT Women's Division certainly got an upgrade tonight. And Rhea Ripley's still there as well, so we'll see what the future holds there. And then Kushida defeated Velveteen Dream, Martin McFly over Doc Brown. That was a good match, the best of the night, I thought. Damian Priest defeated Johnny Gargano, still your NXT North American champion. And then in the main event, Finn Balor over Kyle O'Reilly, as he is still your NXT champion. And then Ridge Holland attacking Adam Cole and dumping him ringside to close things out. So Ember Moon, the mystery person, no Bo Dallas, no James Storm by any means, or anyone not named Ember Moon for that matter, along with Tessa Blanchard. Surprisingly, it wasn't her either. But that's NXT TakeOver 31. A good show overall from start to finish. I thought some good wrestling matches, and we'll see what the future holds. But Monday Night Raw tomorrow night in the Thunderdome, NXT on Wednesday from the new Capitol Wrestling Center. Friday Night SmackDown, that's when the 2020 WWE Draft will in fact begin live from inside the WWE Thunderdome. As well, I'll have more live reactions play-by-play live right here on YouTube. So be sure to like, follow, and subscribe. As always, links in the description below. Those live reaction streams will in fact include college football, the NFL, and professional wrestling. As in a few weeks, WWE Hell in a Cell and WWE NXT Halloween Havoc, AEW 1-year anniversary show as well. So be sure to like, follow, and subscribe. Links in the description below. See everybody now tomorrow night for more live reactions, play-by-play, NFL Monday Night Football doubleheader now with the Patriots, Chiefs, Falcons, Packers beginning at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, along with WWE Monday Night Raw, the final Raw before this year's WWE Draft. Finn Balor, still your NXT champion, defeating Kyle O'Reilly this evening at NXT TakeOver 31 before Ridge Holland attacked and got rid of Adam Cole ringside to close out the night. Like, follow, and subscribe on social media. As always, thank you for watching. Like, follow, and subscribe. Hope to see you by now tomorrow night for more live reactions with football and professional wrestling.